Mile 22 centers around a Black Ops CIA group run by Jimmy Silva, played by Mark Wahlberg. And they're one of these, they do these missions that the government disavows and bloobity bloobity blah blah blah, you know the jazz. And at the beginning of the film, they take down a set of Russian spy hackers in Virginia in a suburban household, including killing a 18-year-old kid. That shows it might sort of shake Jimmy. It's not entirely sure, but we then jump ahead 16 months to Southeast Asia. They don't say what country they're in, just Southeast Asia, and they make some made-up name for the police force or something. The Indokara. I have no. Yeah, it's like the town is Indokara. Like, they're just making things up. That doesn't sound real. And it's then that this group the CIA gets approached by a low-level policeman who had been working as an informant on missing dirty bomb materials, including cesium-137, I believe. And he has a flash drive, or a hard drive, that contains information on more cesium deposits, and basically he'll unlock the disk, he'll unlock the hard drive in exchange for asylum. However, the government of whatever hell nation wants him, or wherever hell nation they're in, wants him in, and they try to kill him while in there. I have two people posing as doctors, but he fights them off and kills them, and that's enough to convince the CIA that this is legit. The group is called in, and they have to go 22 miles to this extraction point where he'll then give the code to unlock the disk. And shock of shocks, this winds up getting attacked. Now here's the thing, the group, which is called Overwatch, really inspired name there, is run by John Malkovich. And John Malkovich is not the villain in this. Surprisingly enough, they had John Malkovich, but they did not make him the villain. I don't know what else to do. It just, again, the police of whatever hell country they're in are trying to get him. They attack the motorcade. Ronda Rousey's character of Sam Snow is killed off. I guess I should get a little bit into some of the characterization, even though there really isn't much. Jimmy Silva is this former child prodigy who wound up getting scooped up by the CIA after his family was killed in a car accident. He already had temper management problems, and unfortunately, it's like, he's not likable. He's just an asshole. Like, not even an asshole with a heart of gold like most of the people in these movies. He's just a jerk. He's constantly running down, in particular, the female operatives, singling out one, a woman named Alice, who is played by Lauren Cohen, who is going through a very nasty divorce and is trying to make it so she can see her daughter more often. And he doesn't, like I said, he's constantly insulting them. He's going into the women's shower room, and they're kicking him out, and it's like, nobody likes this guy at all. It's just, it's not even, but he's really good at his job. He's okay at his job at best. Like I said, Ronda Rousey plays the character of Sam Snow, but she gets killed off right off the bat. Well, as soon as they attack, she's like the first or second operative to die. Another operative gets killed when they go to a safe house that turns out to be not so safe. Eventually they wind through a apartment complex, and at this point Lee Noor, the informant, has to join in. And I will say this to the film's credit, the guy who plays him, I think his name is, just a sec, I got it right here, it's Iko Uwais. I hope I'm getting that pronunciation correctly. That guy's a legit star. Like, holy crap! Like, his fight scenes in this are amazing, and they're really well shot. I really wish this was more about him, because he is far and away the most interesting character in this. And I'll get to that when we get to there. We're also kind of cutting back and forth to these Russian operatives, and you're wondering, okay, they're obviously behind something, but what? Are they behind? Yeah, they're focused on Noor as well, so it's like, okay, what he says is Yeah, corrupt. Yeah, he's exposing corruption in a government that could bring it down. So, is it possibly the Russian government? We're not entirely. Well, we do get this revealed at some point, but yeah. Basically, they fight their way out of this apartment building. Alice, Lee, they get to the extraction point eventually. They barely get on the plane. Lee gives the code to unlock the disc, and it's a bunch of Russian stuff and some weird pictures that pop up. And then suddenly it's like, wait, this is all Russian. And it reveals the location of the Overwatch headquarters. All those people get killed, and it turns out, yeah, that Lee is basically not only a double, he was a triple agent working for Russia on selling out the location of Overwatch because, shock of shocks, the 18-year-old that Silva killed earlier in the film was the son of a higher-ranking Russian general. It was a woman, actually, and this was her revenge to take out everyone in there. It's implied that Lee Noor kills Alice as they're getting on the plane, but it's not. I don't think it's. They basically say, "Well, what happened to Alice?" Like, I'm not willing to talk. Yeah, the whole thing is kind of told a bit in flashback with Mark Wahlberg, Jimmy Silva, and he sort of says, "I'm not willing to talk about what happened to Alice." So it maybe implies that she was a turncoat as well. I can't say 100% for sure. But yeah, like I said, this film is not very good. It could have been better if they just made Jimmy Silva a little bit likable. Like he's such an asshole that it's not even. No group would work with a guy that much of an asshole. Like no group would exactly. He would eventually burn out everyone. In fact, he kind of has because his entire team hates him with a fiery passion. Like, everyone who works with him hates this guy. Like, no one would work with that guy in real life. That doesn't make any sense. Again, why couldn't we have this set in a legit country? It's just Southeast Asia. That's not a country, that's a region. I know, like, Asia and China in particular, have become big markets. In fact, the Chinese funded this movie as well. And, like I said, I get that you don't want to cheese them off, but then, maybe don't set it in one of those countries, or, set it in, like, Burma or Laos, one of the ones that, by and large, they don't really like, where you could maybe get away with something like that. But no, it's just some weird Southeast Asian thing. Like, I don't even get it. Like I said, I just don't get it. Like I said, this film is just not very good. It's tough because I like Peter Berg as a filmmaker. Well, I used to like Peter Berg as a filmmaker. I loved movies like The Rundown and Friday Night Lights. What else? One of the other movies he did with Mark Wahlberg, not Patriots Day, Lone Survivor. I thought that was actually pretty good. But then he's also got, Patriots Day, which was just, this, Battleship, which should have been stupid, was just boring. And it's like, I know you're better than this, man. This was just boring. Exactly. It's so paint-by-numbers, cliched, boring. And like I said, the actions involving Iko Uwais, the action scenes, those are the only interesting parts of this. I really wish this had been about him. Other than that, this just isn't very good. I'm giving Mile 22 an F.
Everybody knows it's on Fox. The Tiny Toons and Dynamo, Fluffy Duck with his own show. Everybody knows they're on Fox. Now Batman's gonna show you he's the greatest superhero. Eat the Captain Patch and Bobby Super Dave commentary. Everybody knows they're on Fox. They're on Fox. Dog City, X-Men 2, Mary Melody's Beetlejuice. Everybody knows they're on Fox. It's on Fox. It's on Fox. It's on Fox. It's on Fox. Big surprise, the rescue baby. Now you know. know the cool places everybody knows. It's on Fox.
Okay, trailer time, and we have mostly new trailers in this one. We've got a few retreads, but it's not so bad. First off, we had Overlord again. After that, we had First Man, which is about it's basically a Neil. It kind of comes across like a part NASA history in the vein of The Right Stuff, or the what was the miniseries that they did in the late '90s? Was it From the Earth to the Moon? Kind of in that vein. It seems to be mainly focused on Neil Armstrong and his journey to landing on the moon. After that, we have White Boy Rick, which is about a 15-year-old who becomes a major drug runner and kingpin in mid-1980s Detroit. After that, we had Bad Time at the El Royale. This was kind of hard to explain. It's one of the, I would say it's kind of in the vein of, what was the movie that was out earlier this year about the criminal hospital? It's, yeah, kind of like that. It's about a motel that actually sits on the border between Nevada and California, and there's all these people that these wacky characters that kind of go through it, and it turns out like the people who own the hotel are also spying on these people and learning all of their dark secrets. That's about the best I can do to describe that. After that, we have Hunter Killer, which is a movie about a submarine team that is sent into Russia because apparently there's a coup going on and they need to rescue the Russian president or World War III could break out. After that, we had A Star is Born again, and then we had Happy Time Murders again, and obviously that's going to be the next movie I review. So, that, like I said, that's the next movie. Now, I'm going to probably do a bit of a schedule change. The next video after this is probably going to be the random trade review on the Grendel Archives. I'm going to put that out on Saturday. That way, when the NXT I'll do the NXT Takeover recap. I'll probably put that out on Sunday instead, just because I kind of have a feeling that Takeover Brooklyn is going to last a little bit longer than usual, and because of that, excuse me, yeah, I might not be able to get that review up till Sunday, and I don't want to put two different reviews up on the same day or at the same time. It's just, that's always been very clunky with me, and sometimes my internet slows down when I try to do something like that. So yeah, I will probably put the random trade review on the Grendel Archives up on Saturday instead of Sunday, which is the usual time. The one after that will probably be on Sunday though, so just so you're aware. Anyway, then Takeover Brooklyn and then SummerSlam will be up on Monday. See you all next time. Hey guys, is there a movie you want me to tackle? If it's some stinker like Baywatch or the Emoji Movie or something else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. See how you can make that happen.